Hi, hey, hello, welcome to a new video. My name is Desiree. If this is your first time here, welcome. And if you are returning, welcome back. So today we're going to be doing something I've never done on this channel, which is a watercolor swatch. And that is of the Shinhan, I hope I said that right, Shinhan Professional Watercolor set. My aunt actually found a bin of watercolors, professional watercolors from various brands, and it was in a bin for $8 at Goodwill. And she gifted it to me, and so I'm like, let me swatch all these colors out, starting with the Shinhan brand. And I have to say, it's a really good brand. I'm really surprised and I'm really loving it. Now, I'm not a watercolor artist at all, but I've always wanted to get into it, and I've been eyeing different watercolor palettes for quite a while, going to the stores, looking them up, looking at prices. For great quality, sometimes you're gonna have to pay a bit, and I just didn't have it in my budget. So the fact that she was able to find this for $8, I was like, yes and amen. Testimony overload. So I am just doing some swatches. You're going to be watching me do that for a little bit, but this video did not go as I planned, and you will see why in a few. But in the meantime, I hope you enjoy this intro, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the video. Okay, so I don't know if this is ghetto, y'all. This is real life. This is, you know what? I'm not even going to apologize for it. I think some people need to see this, because when we see these artists online, a lot of times they're all well dressed up, hair is done, looking fabulous, darling, fabulous. But I ran into one video of somebody that I love to watch, and she was talking about how she just feels so much comfortable and so much more free when she is painting in her sweats and a big shirt and like not all done up. And for the internet, she has presented this costume, she said, of how she looks when painting, and just beautiful. And it was beautiful aesthetics and visuals, everything. But when it comes down to it, she realized that she was having creative block, and a lot of it had to do with just how she was presenting herself. She wanted to be comfortable and she wanted to be free. And a lot of the times, artists look any kind of way. When we really are zoned in, we look any kind of way. And there aren't a lot of Black artists that we see, at least, Black male and female artists that we see. And so some of us might have rollers in our hair. Some of us who are natural might have our hair prepared for like a twist out, like big curls and stuff. Like we might have bonnets on our head. Here come the children. I'm also a mother. The remote is on the TV. I'm also a mom. So this is what it really looks like. I see a lot of moms saying, artist moms, like how, especially new mom artists, like I've been artists for a while, but now they have kids and they've got to figure out this is how we do it. We do what we do when we can with what we have. And so I was trying to do it all aesthetic and pretty, but it's very, very hard to film that way. And this tripod that I got is just a little cheapy tripod for like $10 on sale on Amazon. And it is just, I needed overhead shots, and it's just, or even like sideways, and it's just really difficult. I haven't figured out, and so I'm like, I don't want to waste time trying to figure out angles and stuff. Like, let's just chit chat anyway and get into it. And I'm sorry if you got on this and was like, oh, it's gonna be aesthetic and calming and relaxing. Like, let's just chit chat real quick. So I am swatching, as you already saw. I am now on the row of yellows and oranges. This is so pretty, isn't it? So far, my very favorite color is the opera. That's this one. And it gives this, oh my goodness, I can just scream, this nice bright fluorescent pink. Make sure that I didn't get any on here. So that's what we're gonna just continue on. So far, the opera 430 and number 419 red violet are my favorite, of course, because I love bold, vibrant colors. So I'm gonna continue to swatch. I've put these in order so that I can just go with it. So right now, like I said, I'm working with the yellows and the oranges, and then I will show you a close-up of how they come out. So this is the, and you're not gonna be able to see, I'm so sorry. You know, another thing I have to say is a lot of times these professionals, like they have like all the equipment and stuff, and they make it look so easy, but you guys, it's not as easy. The easier it looks, the more effort I feel got put into it. And yeah, I'm really liking this orange. So I am not familiar with watercolor. I mean, I'm familiar with it, but I don't really know how to work with it per se. I've watched a lot of YouTube videos. I wanted to get into it. I've even like taken notes of what kind of brands would be the best for beginner or even intermediate, because I do want to sell watercolor paintings. But like I said, I'm not really that familiar with it. I absolutely love acrylic inks, and I love them because once you lay them down, once you paint with them, they're not moving. They're going to stay. The color is going to stay. This permanent yellow light is really pretty too. Really loving that. No, permanent yellow. That was the deep. See? So I have to fix that. I have to make that as deep, and then this one is going to be. So right. I love watercolors, but I'm very abstract. I love abstract. I love loose, flowy things that just flow into each other, all of that. You don't really see a lot of artists on YouTube doing videos using watercolor in an abstract, so it's kind of hard. You really have to kind of teach yourself, which I am. I mean, which is fine because I am a self-taught artist. The most art school that I ever had was probably in 4th grade. I went to a magnet school in Miami, Florida. There was art, there was music, there was dance, there was drama. I think those were the 4 main ones. Yeah. I don't remember doing music, but I vividly remember having art class and having ballet class. I vividly remember those two because I really wanted to dance and I really wanted to do art. I've loved art like all my life. So yeah, let me show you what this will look like in here. And I know the color isn't going to be that great because it's kind of dark in here, but you get the gist of it. I did vermilion hue, orange, yellow ochre, permanent yellow deep, permanent yellow light, lemon yellow, and one Arjun John brilliant. I'll swatch these and then show you how it looks in the tube. Now, when I went on to 5th grade, we had to choose one. And my parents didn't let me do dance because at the time they thought we would be doing hoochie dancing. They didn't want me popping, and Lord have mercy, if twerking was around back then, oh, definitely not. But my sister, who came up behind me, she got to do dance because by the time they saw our end of year performances and what dance really was, which was more of ballet and jazz, possibly modern. I'm sure they taught them all kind of stuff, but it was mostly ballet that the girls did. There were boys in the dance class too. I just continued on with music because I fell in love with orchestra. I played the viola, and which is the alto. If you're familiar with singing, there's soprano, alto, tenor, bass. Soprano would be like the high singers. That was violin. Alto will be like the mid-range, which is like my voice, which would be viola. So it's like it plays like a violin, but it's a little bit bigger and it has a little deeper, sultry, bodied, sound to it. So that's what I played. I played the viola, and I played that through 8th grade until I went to high school. and went into public school. All right, so let me show you these colors. All right, here we go. 424 red ochre, brown, red umber, brown red, and Van Dyke brown. And here they are on the Yupo paper. All right, you guys are gonna have to let me know how you feel about this setup, because I've never done anything like this before. I will go out in the sun and the bright where it's brighter and make sure at the end to show you what this looks like in sunlight, so you can get kind of a more truer color than what I'm showing you right now. So we're done with the browns. All right, all right, all right. All right, so we have 404 yellow green. Green. It don't look like much right here, so I'm so excited. Olive green. Let's move on. We've got yellow green. That's pretty. It's very like the elementary green. Like if you're gonna be like, oh, the grass is green, this is like a primary green, I would say. Yeah, what was I saying before all that? I'm all over the place. Just imagine that we're just having a little conversation. Hopefully you are watching this while you are doing other things, like you having me in the background, like a friend, like a coworker who has all the random stories and randomly gets distracted. Shout out to one of my subscribers. You know who you are if you're watching this. She says that she goes back and watches old videos of mine and plays them while she's working on her business. She makes jewelry, and I'm like, that literally made my day, because I do the same thing. Like, especially if like one of my favorites haven't posted in a long time, I go back and watch their old videos. Oh, that's pretty. This emerald green hue. Remember to look out for that color, emerald green hue. I go back and look at their old videos. Wow, I just realized my head is really cut off. Sorry. There's that peacock green. Okay, so it's a little darker than I thought it was gonna come out, but I think if it's watered down, yeah, the watered down look is very pretty, and I'll make sure to show you that. And then we have olive green. So yeah, I am laying this very thick. I just realized, possibly because I am more of a acrylic painter and I like thick, very opaque colors. I may need to go back, not now, but later, and add in the wash color. I do know what that means. There's more water than there is the pigment of the watercolor. So I'm much more of an opaque person. And what I like about watercolors is it's water activated, which can be like kind of like a blessing and a frustration to me, who is so used to acrylic just drying. But you can always add water back to the paint and the color will come back out. And you can, so I think I can quickly do that. The yellow green, sap green, viridian hue, emerald green hue, peacock green. And that's what I was talking about. Like when you have it watered out, it's so pretty. And then olive green. And then here it is opaque and then thinned out. Palette now of paints out, and like I said, the water reactivates the paints. They won't dry out. So like with acrylic paint, I'll show you, all water is gonna do is soften this up so that I can peel it off. Like I won't be able to repaint with this, But these little swatches that I'm doing, especially with this Yupo paper, I'm going to be able to continue working with this, and I can make a little painting. So I'm very, very excited about this. I'm really, really excited about this. All right, gotta see. The first one that I am doing right now is the cerulean blue hue. It's just really pretty. Yeah, that's a nice color. And then let's do a look. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? It's so pretty. It's so pretty. The water is so pretty. Like, I want to go. I was gonna say I want to go to the beach, but I don't like the heat. And I've lived in Florida all my life. I don't like the heat. Let's see, what conversation were we having before I got distracted? Back to magnet school talk. I played the viola from 5th grade to 8th grade. I took private piano lessons growing up, not school related, just because one day, I remember it so vividly, and I don't think my dad remembers this, but we were playing like wrestling and stuff in the living room, and I just randomly said it, "Daddy, I want to learn how to play the piano." And he was like, "Okay." And I mean, I don't know how long it was, but I feel like soon after, he got me set up with lessons, private lessons. And I did that for a few years. I even taught piano for a little bit, but I'm like, I don't know how these children learning anything from me, because I am not a good teacher. So I didn't make it like a career or anything. I was able to teach beginner piano. That's what I taught. Beginner's level piano. And then in 7th and 8th grade, I continued with orchestra. And we had piano. I feel like we did have chorus. We did have chorus, but that wasn't like my main thing. It was mainly orchestra and piano. Wait a minute. Did I show y'all all the colors? I don't remember. I would have to go back. Hold on. Let me check back. All right, so let's do black real quick. Yeah, black, dry brush. Yeah, that's very nice and pigment. Wet that a little bit and try to thin it out. I said all of those things to say, like, I am self-taught. I've been trained in music, but not in art. The one class I had was that 4th grade class. Never went to another art class after that. Never had any other formal training. So a lot of it has been trial and error and experimenting. And for me, that has been really cool and fun to experiment, because I discover new things and new ways of doing things that I feel like doesn't make me like kind of copycat. I know that's for me at least, that's a big fear of like looking like a copycat when it comes to my artwork. But I've always just kind of like experimented and watched videos and try to put my own spin on it and just finding new things. So I'm really excited about this. Having this palette right now is going to be really, really cool. There is a painting that I have in mind, a little painting that I want to do that I will do off camera. But these are all the colors. And this is the final look. So let me give you a close-up, because I didn't give you a close-up of the blues, the black, and the white. Here's a new color. Olive green, cerulean blue hue, cobalt blue hue, ultramarine. And as you can see, like when more water is added, it lightens up the color. And then we have Prussian blue, violets, and black, and white that I put in a square because you kind of can't really see it. It blends in really well. All right, you guys. So this is how the watercolors look outside in full sun. Very bright, very bold, and I absolutely love them. I think this is a very fun and cool set to work with, especially as a beginner. And if you are interested in trying this out, I will have it linked in the description box in my Amazon shop. So hopefully you'll give it a try and it'll work out for you as well. Thank you all so much for spending time with me, and I hope you have a blessed and beautiful day. Bye.